And welcome to Southview. My name is William Chandler, and to my right,
Terrence, Hollis.
And to my left,
Lesley, Huffmaster.
And as usual, in the control room, we have Kyle and Amy. And guys, we're going to kick things off and get real political real fast. Well, not in the usual sense. No. We're going to be talking about loot boxes. Now, for those of you, Lesley, who don't know anything about loot boxes, essentially they've been around for the last 5 years, and it's kind of been nickeling and diming gamers for a long time. So for your, it's like cosmetics sometimes, XP boosts to level you up quicker.
Pay to win.
Is it required that you?
No. It's not required at all. It's
but
just
if you
like,
want to be successful in the game.
Well, no. Like if you want to spend a little extra money to get a little further than everyone else for the time being.
Pay to win.
Okay, I'm getting to that, Terrence. Hang on. So games like Destiny, Destiny 2. What are some other ones aside from EA ones? Yeah, aside from EA ones. MMOs, there are a bunch of games that have been employing the loot box strategy for a very long time.
Mostly EA is the biggest one.
And EA is the biggest one. Yeah. So Electronic Arts is under a lot of flack, or was under a lot of flack for a while, for their second edition of Star Wars Battlefront, it's Star Wars Battlefront 2, where it was hugely pay to win. There was no cosmetics, and essentially you could dump $140 and be ahead of anyone else in the game on day one, and be like, it was ridiculous. Plus, Terrence, I know you and I feel the same way on this one. If you wanted to play as like Darth Vader or Luke Skywalker, you had to play 10 hours and only use that currency.
Like continuously for 10 hours?
Yes.
Or
with like no breaking.
Well, I mean,
you could do that.
Accumulative. Oh,
okay.
To earn in-game currency to pay for them.
Or you can just pay real money and pay like maybe
just get it off the bat.
So like pay $5.
What is the fun in that?
It's evil.
I can't believe it's even working.
Well, I'm not surprised.
It's not necessarily. It is evil.
It's evil. It's evil art.
It is evil.
They did. I had to get it in. Sorry, buddy.
They did lose $3 billion because of it, though.
And their stocks plummeted for a couple of weeks, and then it went all the way back up to the highest it's ever been.
Because they say, "Oh, we removed them," so it just.
Did they remove them though?
They removed them, and
for a while.
For 3 months, they removed them. And the game has basically been in purgatory because the entire progression system was centered around these loot boxes. So what they're doing now is cosmetics, and that's how they should have done it in the get-go. But the main reason why we're talking about it, we're not talking about it on a gaming standpoint. We're talking about it on, believe it or not, a political standpoint, guys. So legislation has been made about loot boxes, and legislators have gotten their hands into the war on loot boxes. The first state was Hawaii. And it was a fairly young guy, 32-year-old representative.
I know he was 30-something. I can't remember the exact age.
He's young, but he's been gaming his entire life. And so he brought in Electronic Arts. He brought in representatives from everywhere to attest to this stuff. And they were dumbfounded. They couldn't say anything. So now there's legislation being made on national and state levels that require loot boxes to show the statistic of you actually getting the item that you want. So like if I want pink Darth Vader, EA's favorite argument, oh, we didn't want to have pink Darth Vader. If I want pink Darth Vader, they have to show me that I have a 0.00001% chance of getting it.
Of actually winning it in the game.
In other countries, like, I guess you don't call it a country, but the European Union, they actually have something against it right now too.
Yes,
in the sense
they have a ban on it right now. Yeah,
because of the fact that some people have gambling problems. In Europe and whatnot. And
I don't necessarily have a gambling. I mean, I like to gamble a little here and there,
Terrence,
but not with my video games.
You and I have both effectively spent over $100 on cosmetics for Destiny 2 alone. And I can assure you, every single time, I got screwed.
It's gambling.
It's gambling.
Really?
It plays.
So you don't know that whatever it is that you're purchasing is going to really work and help you in the game?
You don't know exactly what you want.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
So sometimes it's like, okay, Lesley, I'm going to, you spend $30 and I'll give you a mystery box. Now it can have shoe lint, or it can have an iPhone X, or it can have all these other things. But I'm not going to tell you what's in it. So here you go. You open up, it's a bunch of shoe lint and a couple pennies. Crap, I just spent $30 on this thing.
Wow,
so
that should definitely be illegal.
You spend another $30 hoping for the iPhone X.
The actual one. And you still don't get it because it's still a gamble.
And you keep paying and paying and paying because, oh wow, this is such a great deal.
You really want that particular item.
Something
or
serious.
Yeah.
Do y'all have problems with this?
No.
Okay, good.
Not anymore.
I mean, not anymore.
There you go.
Not anymore.
I took my credit card and my debit card. I've taken everything off of my Xbox.
Really?
Taken everything off my gaming consoles.
How are the games going now that you're not purchasing this stuff?
Well, in the sense of Destiny 2, it's now a giant meme because it's now it's just
Obsolete.
It's
it's just so bad. But
loot boxes killed it.
loot boxes killed it. On top of that,
it wasn't fully completed.
an uncompleted game, as William said.
There's no end to it? Is that what you mean?
No,
there's an end game, so to speak, getting the highest rank in armor and everything else.
It's trash.
Oh.
It's trash at this point. I was not going to be gentle with it because
I mean,
we spent a good bit of our life on Destiny 2.
Bungie has made fantastic games in the past. Halo 1, 2, 3, Halo Reach.
I've played Halo.
Girl, there you go.
And then Destiny 1 was actually
pretty
good.
good.
Astonishing. It was
good.
It was, a trendsetter.
Yeah.
And then you come out with Destiny 2.
Half-baked DLCs, games barely done.
Do you know what I think is responsible for all this?
What do you think? Greedy
I think
corporate?
like the Facebook games and stuff. I think that's where it started, like
No.
Candy Crush. No, it's
It
been
was
around
long
since
before
before
that.
then.
No.
Because those Facebook games and stuff that you can play are just like that too. In
Yeah.
order for you to get special things, you have to buy it.
It's because they're being selfish and
Yeah.
just, we're going to hide, everything.
We're going to
behind
make
it.
even more money off this game that we've already made money off
This
of.
is my favorite thing, and what you were mentioning before. What would games look like without these loot boxes?
Yeah.
Well, this is a shameless plug for a game I'm playing right now. It's called Monster Hunter World, and it is hands down the most fun I've had in at least 5 years of gaming.
I
There's
just bought it this morning.
Give me some.
bought
It is you pay $60 and there's like no options to spend any money to get anything.
That's how they should be.
Yes, and they've
Mario
already
Brothers
sold
wasn't like that.
4.7 million copies as opposed to EA's 2.3 for Battlefront 2 or
Well, you do have other games like Fortnite it's like setting the world on fire right now.
But my point being though is the developer for the game came out and said, look, the goal isn't to make the most money in the world. It's the point is to make some money back, but also give the fans something that they want and something that'll last
So they
a long
buy
time.
your next game.
Exactly. Well,
Right?
Unless you're EA, you just don't really care because
You've made
Evil
enough
Arts.
money, so it's time to retire.
when you
anyways,
lose $3 billion, you don't really care.
I hope you all have $3 billion to lose.
Maybe one day.
And we'll be right back here on Southview.
Start a story. Adopt at theshelterpetproject.org.
Hey, look, it's those guys. Are you good to drive?
I'm fine.
How many did you have?
I should be fine.
You should be.
Go and step out of the vehicle for me.
See ya, buddy. Good luck.
So turns out, buzz driving and drunk driving, they're the same thing, and it costs around $10,000. So not worth it.
This is the story of a boy who is very sensitive to lights and sounds. So he built secret hiding places where nothing could get in. The boy didn't like looking people in the eye. It made him feel uncomfortable. One day, he found out he had something called autism. His family got him help, and slowly, he learned how to live with it better.
Early intervention can make a lifetime of difference. Learn the signs at autismspeaks.org.
And welcome back to your favorite show on JAG TV, Southview. My name is William Chandler, and to my right,
Terrence Hollis.
and to my left.
Lesley Huffmaster.
And you guys know I like to drive, right?
Yeah.
But you know what the future is? Driverless cars. And you know what business already
We
has
are
driverless
here
cars?
in the future.
Yeah, I know, right? We're not Wakanda level yet, but we're getting there. Terrence, I know. I really didn't want to make that joke. Anyway, so Uber, they're using the driverless cars, and as some of you may have heard, well, the first death has occurred.
Yes.
So.
Just was it yesterday or was it actually Monday? Monday,
Whatever.
Tuesday, something like
It's been a-
that.
it's been
It
a
happened
while.
in a suburb city
Been a
of
few days.
Phoenix.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was Monday then. Happened in a suburb city of Phoenix.
Yep.
I don't know. I was actually kind of excited about the chance of having some driverless
Ubers.
driving going
Yeah,
on. You
yeah.
know, that would be fun, but I don't know. There's just too much like technology. Like, what if it just totally failed and then all the cars just crashed into one
Or what
another
if the
one day?
car transformed and tried to kill all of us? I mean,
Oh, Transformers more than
Transformers,
meets
more
the
than
eye.
Hey, double high five for Lesley today, Terrence. You got to catch up. Anyways, so the car did kill someone, but however, it was the person's
Fault. They're
fault.
saying it was
Yeah,
the
wasn't
person's
the car's
fault that
fault.
she stepped out in front of the vehicle.
No,
But
no person. If a person was driving, they would have hit him either way, and that's the court case right now. But Uber has effectively shut down their automotive.
just suspended them.
Just suspended for a short time. Well, long time.
We'll
I don't
see.
know.
We'll see.
We'll see.
It'll depend, probably.
I think.
What's
that-
your voice?
I think self-driving cars are wonderful, in the sense that it can help so many people with truckers and whatnot, because
Making those long hauls.
exactly.
Yeah.
Think of how much sleep they can actually get, or in some situations.
So scary for me to think about, though. People sleeping while they're car. I don't know. I guess it's just because I don't trust technology maybe as much as y'all do.
Yeah, and we didn't trust airplanes or helicopters. It just takes time. It's
Okay.
acclimation.
Prime
Okay.
example of what
Yeah.
he just said, but think about it though. I mean,
I high five myself.
they have drones in the
Yeah.
military, so what makes you think that's any better?
Yeah.
They're now testing a robot that can deliver materials.
Just cars going around driving themselves.
If the military has it,
Tesla does it right now, and it works fantastic.
but it's Tesla though. They're going to do it right.
While I was in Atlanta,
This is Uber we're talking about.
well, yeah, but while I was in Atlanta, we were driving on the highway, and the guy who I was recording with, his hands weren't on the wheel. Like, I was playing on my phone for like 5 minutes. His hands were just crossed, and he was watching the road. Oh my God, where are your hands on the wheel? It's a self-driving car. Chill out. What? And it drove so smoothly, so perfectly. So why doesn't Uber use Tesla?
Okay.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
you can actually purchase at this time
Yeah.
a self-driving car in America.
Yeah. Tesla 3s.
Huh.
I didn't know it was
I didn't know this.
second one or
I thought
third
that
one.
Uber
The second one was a beta,
the
third one is the actual.
groundbreakers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess I'll just,
And
don't
it's
knock it till you try
and it's
it.
safe-
Right?
and it's safe for the environment too.
Yeah.
It's safer
Electric
because they're all electric,
Yes.
right? They're completely electric, no gasoline at all.
No gas.
These electric cars, though, do we have enough charging stations for them?
Well, not Mobile, Alabama, but
I didn't think
but
so.
It's
It's an
I
up and
think
coming thing.
it's an up and coming thing.
I don't think it's going to go as far as people want it to, especially in America because of big oil. So yeah.
That is
Well,
big industry here.
well,
I
I'll tell you this
mean,
much. When I was in Atlanta, everywhere I pulled up, there was a recharge station for your electric car.
Okay.
I'm willing to bet at least 20% of the cars I saw on the road were electric cars.
Really?
And they didn't make a sound. You could have had your window down and you wouldn't have heard them until they were right
That's
by
also
you.
a bigger metropolitan area. So
It
you
is.
have to take that into consideration.
And the only place I'm aware of in Mobile that has it is Whole Foods.
Oh, Alabama Power.
Alabama, have
You can pull up at any of the Alabama Power stations and connect your car
I
and
did not
charge
know
it.
that. Very good to
Wow.
know.
Yeah, there you go.
I will be
right
sure to
across
do that
from
when
where you
I-
are, Terrence. There's one right across the street. That is the one that
He's
that
got
is the one
secret
that
lives. He's Batman. No, he's Black Panther. No, he's whatever. King of an island nation in Africa. Anyway, guys, we're stretching here. We're stretching here. But anyway, so I think the driving cars are excellent. They're fantastic. They're top notch. This was an accident. It was bound to happen. There's going to be legislation made on it. I mean, look how fast we did it with the dogs.
Yeah.
Dogs on planes.
Airplanes.
Yeah. So it's going to happen quick.
Took all of one day. 2
One
days.
day.
A day.
Yeah, Senator tweets, hey guys, I
just
wanted
think
you all
that's
to
a
know,
simpler
my
issue.
constituents, that I have sponsored a bill that's not going to let dogs on planes.
Well, there's other issues we can be worried about, but
Yeah, well,
yeah.
we can only
I think there
tackle
are a
one
little
issue
more
at a time.
complicated issues,
I agree.
maybe.
And we'll be
that take a
talking
little
about
bit
one of
more
those
time.
issues coming up next.
Next.
Yeah,
Coming up next.
coming up next. But anyway, self-driving cars.
So
yay or nay?
you're for him. I'm
Yeah.
leery. I'm subjective to this.
Is there a reason
I don't.
why? It just
I just don't trust it. I don't trust it. Again, I mean,
do
time
you think
will
like Terminator type
only.
things from happening and whatnot is gonna?
You don't think that that's not a
In
possibility?
disguise. No, I don't believe it.
It's always a possibility. You just
They're
can't.
saying that technology now has a mind of its own, though. Like it can think for itself.
That's a topic.
You believe in
that's a
driverless
top-
cars, but not
That's
in
a topic for-
technology thinking
If
for
you want to
itself?
talk about it after the show, I'm more than willing to talk
Why
to you
can't we
about
talk
that.
about it on the show?
Because we're out of time. Hey, guys, we'll be right back here on Southview.
Hey, did you know 2.4 million loving cats and dogs in shelters and rescues need our help to find a home? Let's go to theshelterpetproject.org and meet a few who are in a shelter near you. Harlow, oh, she's one great listener who loves to hear all your stories. My kind of cat. Cerulo is a sweet, goofy boy who's eager to please. Sounds just like another dog I know. So go to theshelterpetproject.org, search your local shelters and rescues, and go for a cuddle with your next best friend. Adopt.
Okay, so we drowned the fire, stirred it, drowned it again, and now just feel if it's cold.
Yeah.
Cool.
Smokey just gave me a bear hug.
I know. I already posted it.
Well, Thomas, you've got pre-diabetes. But with more exercise and a change in diet, it can be reversed.
I've tried exercising. It just makes me hungry for bacon.
I love bacon, too. And who really likes to exercise?
Not me.
Me neither.
Nobody. So we're good?
What? Oh, you still have pre-diabetes. Big time.
And welcome back to Southview. My name is William Chandler, and to my right,
Terrence Hollis.
And to my left,
Lesley Huffmaster.
And guys, I don't know about you. I'm going to be real honest, real serious here for half a second.
Okay.
I'm getting kind of tired of week after week something happens. There's a bombing. There's a shooting. There's a violence. There's human on human crime. And I'm not gonna lie, it's kind of draining me out. I was about to post in the Facebook message after Amy posted what we're talking about, and I was like, I'm really getting tired of all the awful stuff that's going on.
Yeah, we can't seem to escape it.
No, and it breaks my heart, and which breaks my heart why we're having to report it right now. So for those of you who didn't know, there was a bombing incident in Austin, Texas, right?
Yes.
Well, it was a serial bomber.
Serial bomber.
It was five bombs.
Yeah, you want to go on ahead?
Sure, because I kind of
You've got the more experience on it.
There was 5 different explosions that happened. 2 people have been killed in previous ones in a matter of 3 weeks. Several others were injured by these package bombs that were delivered to people's homes. And then the most recent one it wasn't the most recent, the one that happened on Sunday was a tripwire explosion. And they were talking about how he's developing his abilities to make these bombs, and they're becoming more and more complex.
Well, he's not developing anymore, is he?
Not anymore.
Not anymore.
Then yesterday, there was an explosion at a FedEx. A bomb had exploded in a package before it was en route to Austin. They know that it was on its way to Austin, injured a FedEx employee. Then they found 2 other package bombs at FedEx before they exploded and stopped them. And then there was another explosion that happened at Goodwill, and they haven't necessarily linked that to this serial bomber, but it was in Austin, and they're thinking maybe it was a copycat. But it all ended last night.
Or this morning.
This early this morning. It was overnight last night when they were about to. They said they were closing in on him. I don't know exactly what that means.
It was a SWAT team. They were closing in on
his location.
Yeah,
and he blew himself up in his vehicle. They said that bomb that he actually used to blow himself up was the most complex and destructive of all of the bombs, but that they found other bomb-making materials and everything within his vehicle. So he is no longer with us, and he's no longer a threat. So I'm sure that the people in Austin have breathed a sigh of relief. Although they did say,
he's actually sent out, though. That's the problem.
They're telling them to be more cautious, being cautious still, and be aware of your surroundings and any suspicious items. And they also don't know necessarily whether or not he worked alone. So there could be an accomplice still out there that may try to carry out some things. He was a 24-year-old young man, though. I mean, what would drive a 20? That's your guys' age, close to
exactly
roughly
my age.
So that would be. I mean, what do you think? What would possess somebody? I mean, just pure evil,
hatred. It would take more than
hatred.
loot boxes.
Yeah.
It could be a number of things. It can be. I'm going ahead and say it. he's a domestic terrorist.
Yeah.
That's how I feel about it.
I agree. Anybody that is invoking terror upon citizens is a terrorist.
The original response from a lot of people in the black community was the fact that the first 2 victims were both African American.
They were, yeah. They were trying to tie it to race.
Yeah, and then the third victim was someone of Hispanic origin, so they kind of fed into it even more
into the race. Mm-hmm.
Right, but people still don't know. They just arrested, I think not arrested, but they question his parents right now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, FBI is already all over his family and everything at this point.
But now, hold on, you were saying something before the show. You were saying,
no, I mean,
I'll
they
let you
have
research
now,
that.
but I mean, before this, like during the
Yeah.
investigation, they never said to me, the FBI made the statement of, we'll just wait for him to reveal himself to us.
His name is Mark Anthony Condit.
Yeah. And the FBI made it seem like they were just sitting back, buying their time, waiting for him to mess up before
So
they
this
could
is the
find
second time the FBI has waited for something to happen. And it's
before
happened.
they've done something.
Right.
Yeah.
So you were talking about this beforehand, and I don't see what questioning the parents is going to do any good on, aside from, oh, he was such a sweet, darling angel person.
Yeah,
when
we
he had
never would've
roommates and everyone else, they would have never suspected this. You were talking
Yeah.
about that before the show, right? Or was it something else?
That was something else,
Oh,
I
that was
think.
something else.
Yeah, that
But
was something else. But
I don't think anyone ever suspects someone to do these things.
No.
And I'm wondering what drove him to do this.
They should really look into,
His motive.
I guess, his ideologies and whatnot. What he's been researching on either.
Was he a racist? Was he a whatever? Was he targeting
kind of a
certain ethnicities?
supremacy,
Yeah.
Or even for that matter, we say that we've destroyed ISIS. We don't necessarily even know for sure
Right.
because
They're quiet.
Right.
Yeah.
So
They've
you
gone
don't really
underground.
know. Yeah. You
Yeah.
don't know what can be the source of what made him do this. So
and
or he
it's a
could just-
different type. Like, okay, the whole suicide bomber thing is known, so we know what to look
or
for.
he
I
can
guess
be just somebody who's just
car bombings,
crazy.
And stuff like that.
I mean,
yeah. I mean, the Unabomber from what was it, the 90s, early 2000s? I'm not really sure the time frame there,
That
but
was before my
he
time.
just was crazy and just like making bombs and blowing up people.
Right.
And he was just a regular old Joe that
But
lived in North Carolina.
I would say the problem is, where did he learn to make these bombs?
You can learn that stuff online.
I know you can.
Oh my
You can-
God,
you
the
can-
Anarchist Cookbook.
You can watch it on YouTube.
Yeah.
You can just look at it.
In a matter of minutes,
Right.
and make your own bomb. Making a bomb is supposedly, I've never made one before, other than the little baking
Good.
soda vinegar volcano that you make in school.
Only much more
it's the closest
complex.
thing to a bomb, but
Yeah.
it's the same sort of thing. You got to have something that's going to trigger a fire, and the ingredients that it takes to make a bomb are readily available.
You can go
You
to
can't
make it out
ban
of
them.
cement.
Fertilizer.
You can go to
Yeah.
you can go to Lowe's, Walmart,
Yes.
anywhere, and just buy the materials.
And you can't really ban them because so many farmers actually use those for farming.
I don't think anybody's trying to ban fertilizer or anything like that. It's more or
Well,
less
I mean, people are trying to ban guns, though.
you should.
Well, now, thank you for saying that. I was about to say something. It's a lot more complex than guns. I didn't think there would be anything more complex than guns, but outlawing bombs.
Yeah, how do you do that?
How do you do it?
How do
It's
you
like
outlaw
outlawing drugs.
materials?
You
Drugs
should
can be
really-
made out of materials and yada, yada, yada.
Under
just
your
going to
seat.
throw this out there since
Okay, throw it.
the NSA is already watching what most of us do. Why can't you just really look into
Really look at some things like bomb making videos.
Well, hang on. Who's
That's
to
a
say that
fad.
they're not? And they're not going to wait until the last possible second to do something, or until it's too late. I'm sorry, I'm a little pissed off about that.
Exactly.
It
I mean, that's really how I
genuinely
feel
made
about
me angry.
If you
to hear
can,
about
if you
this.
can get into, the most complex spy organizations that, if it's Russia or China or whoever it may be, but there's some idiot in Texas that's trying to bomb other people. You're more worried about, what the Russians are doing.
Yeah.
You have a domestic terrorist here, and
You're doing nothing.
Right.
You
can't
they
say-
were doing
you
something,
can't
but
say you
to the
don't know,
public,
though.
it seemed like they really
But
weren't
you
doing
legit say
much about it.
You can't
to
say
me.
you don't know, because if you have this complex, surveillance system,
There is a law that
everybody's
says you
doing
can
when-
listen in what's on my phone. There is a law
any time.
that says you can listen to what I say on my laptop. I mean, they have the ability to spy on us at any point in time.
Yeah.
Hey guys, how you doing, by the way?
So at some point,
They're listening
at
now.
some point in time, either he became radicalized or he was already on his way to doing it. But
Something triggered him,
exactly.
I think is what.
And in this age of digital surveillance, he has a digital footprint somewhere.
Right. Well, and I guess that's what the investigators are going to be doing. And I guess the thing that alarms me is that it went on for weeks and weeks and weeks and still continued to go on. And it was like they didn't know what they were doing. And I guess they figured it all out, yesterday maybe?
Something like
because they were able to track those packages back to their origins.
Yeah.
And then they said that they had surveillance of the guy buying the materials needed. Like they went back and they were looking at footage from places that sell the fertilizer, and then they were able to figure out who he was.
Well, and here's another thing that drives me absolutely crazy, is people are using this for their own platforms now. The gun control debate. Heaven knows that a certain president of ours has already made a tweet about it. Thank God we had an armed law enforcer that was able to put the kid down. Didn't he put the kid down, or did the kid put himself down?
It's unclear
you're talking
at
about
this
the Maryland
time.
shooting,
The Maryland shooter yesterday.
Oh, Maryland shooter.
That shot his
See, so many tragedies I can't keep up with.
Yeah, it's horrible.
18-year-old boy too. I don't know what his thing.
I think he was a bystander, and he, I guess, accidentally shot him. In fact, the bullet may have actually went through the girl and hit him behind him. I don't really know exactly about that, but they haven't said whether or not, and I think for legal reasons, because of the kid's parent. Why did you shoot my son? So they haven't said the resource officer actually shot and killed the boy. But it's also very possible that it was a self-inflicted gunshot wound. But I mean, I've been hurt by boys before, and I'm sure y'all have been hurt by girls before, but never have you ever thought to take up a handgun and go shoot the person.
Never.
And they still don't know exactly what the motive is. They've only just said that they had a prior relationship.
Well, I know with this current generation, a lot of people are starting to blame, I guess, the video games, and that affects me and William.
Oh,
and it's like,
good God, yeah. Shooting some aliens correlates to shooting some people. Yeah. You know.
I think those people, I think video games could play a role in it if they're not right in their mind. If they're not right in their mind.
You know what? Pause button. Amy, we're adding this to next week's debate about guns and affecting video games and yada, yada, yada. We'll have that debate next week. But, guys, I hate reporting on this stuff. I love working with you all, but
the hard news is tough. Hard news is very tough.
It has to be done,
especially when it's young, innocent people. I mean, and even just innocent people to begin with that are losing their lives way too soon.
But you've become, I
ignorance.
guess a lot of us have become desensitized to it too, because it happens so often.
It does
you hear
now.
about it, almost every other day. So.
Well, we're going to wrap it up here. My name is William Chandler.
I'm Terrence Hollis.
And I'm Lesley Huffmaster.
And Amy and Kyle, you guys are awesome as ever. You guys have a great day, South Nation, Jag Nation, whatever. I'm tired, guys.
Happy spring break.
Happy spring break, and we'll see you all next time. Peace out, Jag Nation.
Get lit.